The C-SPAN Civics bus is traveling the country, visiting libraries, bookstores, festivals, and authors. Here are some of the people and places we visited.
We're here at the El Paso Public Library in El Paso, Texas, with Diana Washington Valdez, author of The Killing Fields, Harvest of Women. Could you tell us about your book, please?
Yes, this book is a very in-depth book that is based on an investigation that took more than 6 years. The investigation into the femicides of more than 500 women and young girls in Ciudad Juarez who have been killed since 1993. And why these cases stand out is because they are notorious for impunity. The murders have become known around the world. In fact, Ciudad Juarez, right across the border from us in El Paso, Texas, is the only city in the world associated with the murders of women.
How did you go about researching this book?
I worked for the El Paso Times newspaper here in El Paso, Texas. So I began my early research and investigation while a reporter for the El Paso Times. And even though we published a big series on the murders, there was still more to be done and more investigations to conduct, and involved traveling to Mexico City and other places. And so the book became the venue or the format to present all this information that I had gathered. And also, well, the book includes interviews with families, with politicians, with law enforcement people, with sources who provided key information that let us confirm that there was a cover-up going on and that the corruption involved went to the highest levels of the Mexican government.
And so, how many deaths have there been?
Since 1993, we've had approximately, up to now, about 520 murders of girls and women in Ciudad Juarez. Now you have to understand, if you live on the border, you'll know that this is very unusual. This never used to happen before. And also the way in which these victims were killed, they were brutalized, they were abducted, raped, tortured, and then their bodies were dumped in certain places. And this went on for, well, it's gone on for about 15 years.
And so what was your personal experience writing the book, the whole process?
It was very intensive. Obviously, there were emotional issues because when you interview families of victims, you know, they're having them to relive the events, and it's very hard. I think that was the hardest part about doing the book. And then, of course, the obvious dangers. I received threats, and in fact, I can't go back to Mexico anymore. Drug cartel people have come here looking for me. One thing about this book is that it does not focus only on the women's murders, but it also describes kind of like the roots of the drug violence that's going on in Ciudad Juarez, the corruption in the police force, and why it became evident that there was no one investigating, no one trying to do the right thing, and no one protecting the community.
And so what impact did you hope the book would have, and what impact has it had, or does it continue to have?
My main objective was to let everyone know, let the whole world know what was going on in Ciudad Juarez. And I think that in great part we've been able to achieve that because we know that people from around the world have read my book. They've read it also in the Spanish version, have seen the articles we've posted online for the El Paso Times. We've had academics, journalists, authors, politicians. Even our U.S. delegation, members of our U.S. Congress have come to the border, and they've sought us out for briefings about what exactly was going on. And so we've gotten the attention of people in high levels of our U.S. government to start taking actions that might intervene on behalf of these families that are helpless and powerless.
The book is The Killing Fields, Harvest of Women. Diana Washington Valdez here at the El Paso Public Library. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You can view Book TV programs, sign up for a weekly email of our schedule, and learn about upcoming programs at booktv.org. You can click on the Viewer Input tab and email us. Tell us what you're reading and what you think of our programs.